Nell's Tower, the Royal Society's observatory, is named for King Charles' canniest mistress. Nell's Tower is the jewel in the Society's crown. The sign on the door in neat copper plate reads, Nell's Tower closed for the 13th annual airy dinner. There is a polite cough at your shoulder. Turning, you see a tall man with a beard like a nest of vipers. The supercilious bursar, I don't know that word. In charge of university funds. Intendant, okay. Introduces himself. I came to round up stragglers, but as a captain you are of rank sufficient to attend the dinner if you wish to attend. Sure. The dinner is held in the mahogany and marble imperial dining room of Airy House. Every piece of the dinner service is mismatched, and both the furniture and the personages in the room are pleasantly rumpled. The supercilious bursar brings you to the high table, where the 3 senior astronomers of Nell's Tower are holding court. You are introduced to the senatorial... Is it pronounced senatorial or senatorial? Or the I and A differentiated? Senatorial. I'd like to get the pronunciation here. Senatorial. Okay. Stress is on the na.
Senatorial.
On the toe. Senatorial. Does make it flow much easier.
Senatorial.
Senatorial. Okay. You are introduced to the senatorial professor, the chair of the effulgent sciences and the lecturer for imperial affairs, as the first course is served. Dine on the game pie. Guzzle the port. Eavesdrop. I think they sell everything, right? Yeah. So we don't need to get supplies, though that would save us some money. Reducing terror would not be useless. We have some. I really would like for it to be a way to see the numerical value of our terror, but eavesdrop on the conversation. If we get useful info, that's probably the best choice. If we just get some sky stories, that's pretty meh. But we will still do that option for the chance of getting something actually useful. It was just a sky story. Shame. The supercilious bursar keeps everyone's sport classes well topped up as the conversation descends into fractious bickering. The disagreement centers around the orientation of the Society's great telescope. The lecturer wishes its gaze outwards beyond the borders of Albion, while the chair desires it turned on Albion's territories. The first course ends with a great smacking of lips and a general feeling of goodwill towards the chef. The supercilious bursar passes the dish of buttered potatoes with an oily smile. The conversation continues, lubricated by Herculean quantities of port. Buttered potatoes, roast squirmings, and sautéed Hybrian mushrooms are devoured in between rhetorical thrusts. Talk to the lecturer in imperial affairs. She is rationing her port with water and visibly holding her tongue, which makes her interesting. Talk to the chair of the effulgent sciences. Her eyes are wild. She has savaged the potatoes. Her conversation rumbles, but her language is poetry. Talk to the senatorial professor. He affords sly smiles from under his blindfold between slurpings of mushrooms. He appears to enjoy playing the devil's advocate. I do like people who do that. Makes conversations much more interesting. Are we going to be able to extract valuable information from her? That's the main question, because if we are, then I want to do that. If we are not, then I'd like to talk to the professor. Maybe let's confer him, because he's gonna get us the most devious information, right? He grins broadly as you find yourself arguing for the abolition of astronomy as a charlatan's art. Doesn't sound like too smart a thing to do here. You must have done adequately, however, for he toasts you once you finish, before he resumes feeding his large pet spider beneath the table. Yeah, that's my kind of guy. We should show him Dilly. He's sure to love Dilly. The second course ends with the lecturer in Imperial Affairs telling a rather ribald joke, and a hearty toast to the continued health of all present. Sherbets produced in London's sweet shops, sponge cake from the Admiral Nelson on Port Prosper, clotted cream and actual strawberries grown in the gardens, more port. The conversation grows looser, the story is more risque. The supercilious, I need to check that.
Supercilious.
Supercilious, okay. The supercilious Bursa leans in conspiratorially. I arranged these dinners to promote unity, you understand, and of course for the good memory of our previous president, who nobly argued for the introduction of the society to the wilderness and convinced Her Majesty of our utility. He toasts a large portrait of Airy that dominates the room. The lecturer in Imperial Affairs, her cheeks are flushed. Her glass has been refilled. Okay, now talking to her sounds much more useful. The chair of the Effulgent Sciences is drawing something on the napkin. Interesting character. As the professor, he has procured brandy from somewhere. His port is shamefully neglected. Yeah, okay. Let's talk to the lecturer. She tops you up and attempts a wink. Never waste a drop of wine, as my governess used to say. She was watering down her wine previously. She sighs. I know what the Bursa's up to, distracting us from the fact that London's got us pointing the telescope at a dead corner of the sky. A matter of national security, they said. Got the wrong coordinates, if you ask me. Anyway, until they say we can move it, our studies are on hold. The third course comes to a close with a great groaning and heartfelt but false protestations that one couldn't possibly manage cheese and biscuits after all this. The supercilious Bursa leans in as the plates are cleared away. Before we adjourn, there is the question of patronage to consider. All eyes are on you. A hush falls over the table. The three faces of the astronomers are turned to you. The supercilious Bursa continues as though nothing has changed. Our telescope is operated only by the will of the government. We are not allowed to move the telescope without permission. A bold skyfarer such as yourself might obtain such permission, or at least an official-looking document that could be conceivably construed as permission. Okay, well, our astronomers would be very much interested in patronizing you. You bring them a permit, they can advance their researches. In exchange, they'll teach you what they know. And so we choose who to help. The iron-haired astronomer, London's own appointment, will be your patron. The wide-eyed astronomer specializing in the habits of the stars will be your patron. The blindfolded cantankerous astronomer of old London will be your patron. She would at first sound like the one who could give us the most benefit, but she seems powerless actually, because she disagreed with what London ordered them to do, and yet she could not do jack about it. So instead of choosing the one that seems the most influential, we'll go with the one who interests me the most. That would be the senatorial professor. He reaches out to shake your hand. I shall endeavour to instruct you more kindly than I was. I hope I shan't give you cause to regret your choice. He smiles thinly. Now come to the tower whenever you wish to begin. Bring a permit if you wish to actually make use of the telescope. We could change. We could observe the clockwork sun, because we have a patron. Okay. London authorizes and encourages this use of the telescope. The ministry has stamped permits for this particular usage up to the next century, the bursar informs you. The sun's rays shine from Albion's farthest corner to London in all its glory. Gold as bright as a king's sword burnishes the empire in radiance. The sun never dims. You draw away, dazzled. You've got 12 terror. I wanted to know that before. Okay, but perhaps before we do that, I'd like to check our other options. Although I don't know how to come back here. Where is it? Okay, it's in Nels Tower. Fine. Let's go to the Rochester Club. A cozy country house bolted onto the side of the society's glass houses and overgrown lawns. This is the meeting place of the infamous Rochester Racing Club. Ah, it's Racing Club. Okay. Brandy glasses gleam on the shelves. Polished brass fixtures abound. A fire roars in the hearth. Members sit in comfortable armchairs, comparing war stories. Parts salvaged from broken trains adorn the walls. That's the secondment of the incautious driver. We could leave him here and he will generate stuff for us. And we could ourselves compete. Well, let's inquire into joining the club. You are, after all, the captain of the skies. The dismal debutante curls her lip. The boisterous Harridan cackles. The current Lord Rochester laughs gamely before abruptly stopping. Oh, you were serious. He coughs to conceal his embarrassment. Well, should you really wish to join our merry company, you'll have to prove yourself a proper racer. The careless deviless, in her smoked velvet jacket, appraises you carefully. You'll need to prove your mettle, my dear. Win one of our races and we'll be happy to admit you. We're in good enough a condition to try anything, really. The thundering terror of the sunless skies, the Rochester races are the competitive sport of choice at the Royal Society. Lord Rochester claps you on the back. Good sport, that. The rules are simple. Get to the destination port and back here in 15 days. Then you can call yourself a true Rochester racer. Savvy? He calls for order in the club room and gathers the other racers around. A quick toast is raised to your health, and then it's on with the race. Get back to the Rochester Club within 15 days, having spoken to the race official at your destination in order to win the race. Reach the floating parliament and return to Rochester Club within 15 days. Damn. I don't really have a notion of how fast the days go by. I guess we'll try that. We might as well drop off the driver here, because we need to bring him to New Winchester. Let's just remember before we go back to the beach to have him come with us. The driver waves as they disembark. Thanks again, Principal. You won't regret it. Probably. They disappear into the smoky confines of the Rochester Club. If you listen carefully, you can hear boasting already. We could place a bet on them. The driver wants to test their skills at the Rochester races. They promise there's money in it. They also promise to enjoy themselves a very great deal. Place a bet on them. They are sure to be victorious. After all, they are your officer. Sure. Do the racing. Bring us monies. Great. I would like to check the other options, but I'm kind of worried that some of them would pass some days. So if we're gonna do the race, we should do it right now. Sure. Let's just stock up on stuff. get going. What's the fastest way? This way seems clear. So we go here around the Clockwork Sun, and then it's just a straight line pretty much. Other option would be to go here and hope the passage here is not too bad. Although, how do I zoom in? Hey, no, that's not it. Okay, hey. You have to go this way. Okay then. White and dark. And we're going. We are the 27th. So we need to go back before the 12th. And we can't stop for any reason. I just hope that way is not too long. That's a pretty bad sign. Yeah. How do we do that here? A correspondent. Once letters only had to travel from Harrow to Hackney. Now they have to cross the vast sky. Still, the postie does his best. Okay? Your letter of resignation. One day you were informed that your services at the ministry were no longer required. A promise of days or below stairs. Right. We do know that we left this place, so sure. They required your immediate resignation. They wouldn't fire you, of course. The ministry does not make mistakes. What had led to your sudden departure? Office politics or your compromised allegiances? That makes more sense. You had been instructed to censor a work and deliver the unexpurgated copies to the furnace. You did not. Perhaps it was not the first time. Sure. Well, I think we've gone a terribly bad way. Sorry boy, I just don't have time for you. Right, we can do that. Shoot. No, no, stop it. That's not how you stop it. That was terrible. Is that a passage? Okay. Thankfully we did not take too much hull damage. Okay, so you activate it, it takes time, and then if you want to deactivate it, it takes time as well. Also, you have to press a button that keeps sending the scout away for no good reason. Found something there by sending the scout away. Perhaps it is the deep that we had to send the scout to find. Perhaps we'll see that on the way back. No. I will not care about you. Need to de-zoom. It's been 2 days already. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Unlikely we make it. What do they sell? Is it fuel or it's just supplies? So let's not burn our fuel. I do hope there's a passage here, because if there's not, then it's more time lost. Worst case scenario, we'll have scouted a bit more of the map, but... Okay. First of July, so we lose the race on the 12th of July. There's so much just saying to do here. I'd rather not fight them. He gave us a little push. What a nice guy. So if you get there on the 4th of July, I think it's decent. If you get there on the 5th, we'll have to go faster on the way back, and I'm not sure we'll manage. Another one of these. It seems we are fast enough. Okay, so we are in time apparently. Let's not care about that cantankerous. Apparently it does not care about us. Where's the way in? Here. Ah, come on.